Hey, what's going on, guys? So kind of different news than what I was anticipating. I think I've been giving maybe wrong information, or I just had wrong information, or the devs are doing something differently. So I was suspecting that this pool would be Tech Priestess and 2 other Season X heroes. If we take a look, it's actually all 18 Season X heroes, which is a little bit surprising. Like I said, I thought it would be the Tech Priestess and 2 Season X heroes. The Doomsday season's basically ending next week, so I don't know how they're going to have 2 more weeks of Season X pools. But anyway, this is what we're working with. So you have all 18 heroes, and it's pretty simple. Don't go for this. There are way too many heroes, and the math pretty much comes out to, if you wanted a copy of Death Rider, like that's the only person you wanted in here, you had everybody else. The possibility of getting him is like 1 in almost 1,500. So 1 in 1,500 tickets. Basically, a Season X hero, to get a Season X hero, will cost 80 tickets. And then since there's 18 people in here, it comes out to 1,440, basically 1,500. And I'll do sort of the same thing, so I'll give it a ranking. Kind of the way that I want to approach this is every hero sort of out of 10, and then we'll divide all of that by 100, and we'll get the kind of percentage number. So first things first, we have Rose Noir. Rose Noir, I'd probably give her like a 7. She's pretty solid shooter hero, so she's decent. She's not really using the best shooter APCs though, so I might actually even give her a 6, because basically the best shooters are the best shooter combos involve like Valkyrie, Nomad, Kosher, and that's pretty much it. In terms of the Season X heroes, you'll also see like Anna, Hummingbird, people like that. Even Betrayed is probably better than Rose right now. So Rose, I'm going to give her a 6 out of 10. She's still very good, so if you have her, use her basically. But she's definitely not needed. Then we have Gluttony. Gluttony is very good right now. He does have a few counters because of his the way that his healing works. Sorry, that wasn't his healing. Okay, actually it is. Yeah. So anyway, the way that his healing works, he has a couple counters. He can get negated, which definitely hurts him, but he's still very, very good, and he's in some of the the best APCs. So because of that, I'll probably give him a 9. He's not a carry hero, so you can't just recruit him and then plug him into like basic orange heroes. You won't win that way. He's definitely kind of a more tanky defensive hero, but he's very, very good, so I'll give him a 9. Canoness is pretty similar, except you can kind of place her in any APC really, and she'll do very, very well. She heals enormously. She has good CC, so she has good suppression, and she just heals a ton, and you can end up just winning games basically from Canoness. So she is definitely a carry hero, but she's not in like the 5 top APCs or something. So you do have to subtract a point from that. So I'm also going to give her a 9, maybe an 8, but let's just give her a 9. Then we have Organic. So Organic used to be a 10. You basically needed him pretty much for your APC. Now he's a little bit worse, but you still really, really want him. You can use Organic. He pairs very well with Heaven's Redemption. He pairs very well with Death Rider. He pairs great with Caesar, great with Vanguard, great with Countdown, great with Ivan. And he pairs very well with a lot of the vehicle heroes. He doesn't pair that well with Kamikaze though, so that's kind of one of the things about organic. With that said, again, I'll probably give organic a 9, potentially an 8, just because you don't actually need him. You can survive with Kamikaze, Heavens, and Death Rider, and that's pretty much it. You can take on the strongest opponents. So I'm gonna give him a 9. But probably like an 8.5 is more accurate. Then we have the Lone Wolf. So the Lone Wolf is not that good. She's definitely not needed, and getting her is not really gonna protect you from very strong bases, and it's not gonna help you too much in terms of like getting through other players. She's definitely good if you have her and you don't have anyone better. Like, use her. So if she's a backline hero, a backline fighter, which is pretty rare. It's basically only Knight, Venom Walker, and the Lone Wolf are kind of like really the only traditional backline heroes for fighters. So if you just have Knight, for example, you can plug in Lone Wolf and she'll be better. But other than that, she's not that good. So I'm actually going to give her like maybe a 5. Yeah. I'll just give her a 5 because, like I said, she's decent. She's an upgrade from many heroes, but she's not really going to do too much. Now you get Kamikaze. Kamikaze is a surefire 10, basically a 9.5. He's incredibly good, and he's very versatile. So he's a frontline vehicle hero who can pretty much be paired with anybody, and he'll make that APC better. He's also used in the top APCs in the game, and several of them. There's some mixed combos you can use with Kamikaze, or just the traditional, Kamikaze Heaven's Redemption Death Rider combo is basically the top vehicle APC right now. But you can also pair him up in the mixed formations. Like I said, he's just a very good frontliner. So a 10. Then we have Nomad. Nomad I'm also going to give a 10. The reason is that while Hummingbird is used often in mixed APCs, Nomad is basically used in the top shooter formations. So if you're getting attacked by someone with, let's say, Kamikaze, Heavens, Death Rider, Nomad is going to do very well against that and will help you win against that, help you defend, or help you attack a base who's defending with that combo. So I will give him a 10 as well. I just feel like, yeah, that's what he deserves. Hummingbird is still very, very good, so he's not necessarily like replacing Hummingbird. He's kind of an addition, and he's kind of used a little bit differently than Hummingbird. So then we have Kosher. Kosher is very solid, but he's not needed, so which makes him a little more difficult. Like I had said before, you can run Valkyrie, Anna, Nomad, for example. You can run Deus, Valk, Nomad, some other heroes like that. You don't need Kosher. He's strong, very strong. He pairs very well with Nomad, pairs well with Anna, pairs well with Deus Ex, but he's not needed. Pairs well with Betrayed, but he's definitely not needed. So I'll give him probably like an 8. Yeah, 8 out of 10 for the Kosher. Now Heaven's Redemption is necessary. He gets a 10 as well. You're not really going to have a super strong vehicle APC without Heaven's Redemption, unfortunately. And there really isn't any. I mean, you can run like Anna Organic Ivan, or Caesar Organic Death Rider, or something like that, but they're not going to beat the top vehicle APCs, which is kind of the problem. They're also not going to beat the top shooter APCs, but I mean, that's okay. That's not kind of what they're intended to do. So I will say Heavens is necessary, and he plugs in pretty well with some other heroes. Basically, he just does a little bit of everything. So he buffs, heals, CCs. So he kind of just does, you know, everything you'd want from a hero, he does. He's not necessarily going to be a carry, so you can't just say like Forsaken Heavens shoot a man. That's not going to really like rip through APCs. He's definitely more of like a supportish type, so you'd like to have a Death Rider paired up with him. So with that said, I would normally probably give him like a 9.5, but in this case, I'm going to actually give him a 10. He's basically needed. So Death Rider, immediate 10, no question about it. Arguably the best single hero in the game. You can pretty much just plug him into anything, any vehicle APC, and he will make it perform exceptionally well. He's in every top vehicle APC, whether you have Kamikaze, whether you have Organic, whether you even have Heavens, he's in there. So flat out 10. Not much else to say. Iron Sentinel is a little bit interesting. I'm probably going to give him like a 6 or a 7. It's kind of all he deserves, in my opinion. No offense, but he's kind of like Rose. He's not really needed in any of the top squads, but he's still pretty solid. So that's all I can really say for Iron Sentinel. He goes decently well in mixed pairs, in mixed APCs. He goes pretty well in like fighter combos, true fighter combos. So you could run Iron Sentinel, Canoness, Venom Walker, for example, in your defensive queue, and that's going to do very well. But he's definitely not needed. So it does take points away. So I'm going to give him a 6, similar to Rose. Probably more closer to a 6.5, but. Now Betrayed is interesting because he recently became significantly better. He used to not be very good, but his second ability was updated so that he can actually go in the back line, which does make him more effective. There's a lot of shooter heroes that can go in the second row, in the middle row, which kind of puts Betrayed down a notch, but there's not too many that can go in the back row. So now that Betrayed can, it's a blessing. Similar to Death Rider, that's one of the reasons why Death Rider is very good, is because he can go in the back row as a vehicle, and he just does a lot. You'll often find that back row heroes are more valuable, because not every hero can go in the back, but pretty much every hero can go in the front or the middle. They might not perform great, but they still can. Their skills are still going to be useful. So anyway, I would give Betrayed probably like an 8, a solid 8. Like I said, he's not in the top APCs, but he will do very good, and he is a carry, so you can sort of just plug him in, and he'll do very, very well. So moving on, we come to the Crusher. Crusher's kind of just a watered-down Kamikaze, in my opinion. I mean, no offense if he's your favorite hero, but yeah, there's not too much else to say other than he's kind of a worse Kamikaze. If you have Kamikaze, there's really no reason to run Crusher. And if you don't have Kamikaze, but you have, let's say, Organic Heavens Death Rider, you also don't need to run Crusher. Even Caesar Organic Death Rider probably edges out Crusher. It's probably comparable, actually, but still. So I'm going to give Crusher, I would probably say a 6 again. Similar to Iron Sentinel and Rose. He's not very necessary, and he's not really going to propel your fighting power that much. So then we get to Hunk. Yeah. Hunk's not good. Not good at all. People have tried to make Hunk work. He does have this flaming thing, but it's a 30% chance, and so it does kind of pair with Inquisitor and Executioner, sort of. But Hunk is just not very good. I'm gonna give him, I don't know, a 3. Yeah. Some people say he's okay for tiles, which I don't doubt. He probably can be used for tiles, but he's not better than some of the other tile taking comps. So he doesn't really get a bonus for that. So then we come to Valkyrie. Valkyrie is very interesting. She's kind of a super duper example of a glass cannon. So basically she's only useful for the first 3 turns. And then after that, she's completely useless. But within those first 3 turns, she can basically just shred the entire enemy APC. Not herself. She is a support hero, so you can't just plug her in anywhere. But as long as you have, a very high hyper carry hero, for example, Nomad, who else? Hummingbird, even Iron Guard. So if Valkyrie was kind of your only Season X hero, you can plug her in with Iron Guard, and Iron Guard will do pretty well. Obviously, Nomad and Hummingbird are better. Betrayed also can work really well with Valkyrie. So she doesn't have the same disappointment that kind of like Iron Sentinel does, where she's not really needed at all. She's definitely needed for kind of the top most shooter APCs. So I'm gonna give her probably an 8, but she's a very interesting character, and I like the fact that you basically either win with her or you lose with her right away. There's some weird noises going on here. Okay, don't know what that was about. I just kept hearing, like, I thought my base was getting attacked or something. So anyway, moving on, we have Sven. So Sven is interesting. He's pretty bad, like base to base combat or like APC to APC combat. No, he's not terrible though. People always make fun of him for being like the worst hero. He's not horrible, but he's definitely not very good. He, however, is great at tiles. So he's in arguably the best tile taking comp in the game, which really propels him forward. So if you get Sven, you're going to be able to take level 16s much sooner, which in Doomsday is very important, and it can set you up for much greater success. If you get those early 16s, you'll get a lot of them, and it basically just shoots you forward. Other players will take a long time to catch up. So I'm going to give him a 5. Actually, probably a 6. Let's give Sven a 6. Let's be nice. That's only because of his tile taking abilities. If it was just base to base combat, he would get like a 3, just like Hunk. But because he has that advantage of being like arguably the best tile taking hero, he gets a 6. So then we get to the Patriot. The Patriot is terrible. Period. Even if you have him, like he's really not going to increase your squads. Kind of like Hunk. So he gets a 3. And then the Wanderer, similarly, not very good. On paper, he looks kind of cool. Like his abilities, it kind of has a cool, aspect to him. He's kind of like an assassin sort of hero. I guess kind of like, Assassin's Creed style, in my opinion. He sort of looks like that. And he has like armor break, so he's supposed to really hurt people, but he just doesn't. I would give him probably like a 4. So that comes out to 130 total in this pool, which is actually fairly good. So if we divide it by the number of heroes, which is 180, it comes out to about a score of 72. So when I had done the rows, 72 out of 100, which is what, a C- in the American education system. So I'd give a C-, which isn't great for those who grew up in the American education system. A C- isn't great, but it's passing. So if you had no Season X heroes, and you're just pulling from this and you have a lot of tickets, you're going to get a lot of heroes. The thing is, it's so unlikely that you're going to get the heroes that you need, and you'll get duplicates of them, that I just wouldn't go for this. If in the example, like you had, let's say you had every Season X hero and they all had 3 dupes. So you needed 1 more dupe for every single one of those heroes, go for this pool, because you're likely going to get someone who's pretty good. But that's just not a real example. Normally you're going to have, let's say, no Heaven's Redemptions or 1, and you need 3. You're not going to get it from this pool, period, unless you have like 10,000 tickets, like I had said. So it's a little bit interesting. 99% of the time, I'm going to say don't go for this pool. For some of you guys who are, very questioning it, or you're just totally unsure, please just ask in the comments. And I would be glad to, help you guys out, or some of the other community members would as well. Like I always say. So that's about it. Like I said, I was expecting Tech Priestess and 2 other Season X heroes. I will be messaging the devs. It might be the next week. So we might have to wait 1 more week. Yeah. I'm going to assume that's the situation. It's just pushed back 1 week. And if that's the case, it makes even a greater argument to not spend your tickets on this pool. You will want your tickets for Tech Priestess if you don't have her. So save up what you can. You get an extra week of saving. You get an extra week of buying tickets potentially. So yeah, that's about it, guys. I was hoping it was Tech Priestess, but we got something else instead. And yeah, not too bad. I rated pretty much every hero pretty quickly. And like I said, this pool is decent. It's just the fact that there's 18 heroes. 18 heroes. Like I said before, 1,440 tickets to get the hero that you want. That's the likelihood. 1 out of 1,440 tickets. So, I mean, it's just not realistic for most players. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I apologize if I was incorrect about it being Tech Priestess next week. I really thought it was going to be today. It seems like they just pushed it back 1 week. So next week should be Tech Priestess and 2 Season X heroes. Gives you an extra week to save at least. So, hey, it's okay. And we'll see you next week. So anyway, that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. I'm just going to become rapid firing out these videos. Thank you for all the suggestions. If you have suggestions on videos or questions on videos, please just let me know. I've marked it down, every single one, and I'll try to, get those out as soon as possible. So thank you, guys. All right, peace. Have fun. Stay safe, and good luck.